You know what people often get wrong about extremely high IQ individuals? They assume intelligence always looks impressive from the outside. They imagine someone who speaks constantly, dominates every discussion, solves everything instantly, and somehow moves through life with total clarity. But psychology suggests something far more complicated. People with extremely high IQ often do not experience their intelligence as a clean advantage. Very often, they experience it as intensity, as overprocessing, as a mind that notices too much, questions too much, and struggles to live comfortably inside a world built for simpler levels of stimulation. And that is where this becomes psychologically interesting, because what looks like giftedness from the outside can feel like friction from the inside. The truth is, extremely high intelligence is not just about being better at solving problems. It is often a completely different way of processing reality. Cognitive psychologists have long observed that highly intelligent individuals tend to show stronger pattern recognition, faster abstraction, and deeper metacognition, which means they are not only thinking, they are thinking about their thinking while they think. And that layered processing changes everyday life in ways most people never see. The first pattern is quiet overstimulation. Many people with very high IQ are not overwhelmed because they are weak. They are overwhelmed because their mind is taking in more layers at once. In a simple conversation, they may be tracking the words, the tone, the contradiction, the social meaning, and the unstated motive all at the same time. What seems like sensitivity is often cognitive saturation. The second pattern is a strange relationship with loneliness. Extremely intelligent people are often capable of being social, funny, and outwardly warm, but still feel privately disconnected. Not because they believe they are above others, but because true cognitive resonance is rare. When your mind naturally moves towards systems, nuance, paradox, and underlying meaning, surface-level conversation can feel emotionally thinner than it does for most people. Psychologists studying gifted adults often describe this as asynchronous social experience, where the person can function in the social world but still feels internally out of step with it. The third pattern is overthinking that masquerades as responsibility. A very high IQ mind is often extremely good at forecasting outcomes. It sees second-order effects, hidden variables, unintended consequences. That ability is useful in complex problem-solving, but in ordinary life, it can quietly become exhausting. Decisions that feel simple to others can open into 10 competing possibilities. A message becomes a social puzzle. A career choice becomes a philosophical dilemma. The issue is not indecisiveness, it is cognitive overexpansion. The fourth pattern is difficulty resting. Highly intelligent people often struggle with stillness because a quiet environment does not produce a quiet mind. Neuroscience research on the default mode network suggests that internally focused thinking can remain highly active even during rest. And for some intelligent individuals, downtime does not feel like peace. It feels like more room for the mind to keep running. This is why many of them appear calm externally, while feeling mentally busy almost all the time. Now consider this for a moment. The very traits people praise in intelligent individuals, their insight, their curiosity, their depth, are often the same traits that make ordinary life harder to inhabit. And that paradox matters because without understanding it, many highly intelligent people spend years interpreting their own mind as a problem rather than a pattern. The fifth pattern is intellectual humility that gets mistaken for uncertainty. People with extremely high IQ are often more comfortable saying, "I don't know," because they are more aware of complexity. They see how fragile conclusions can be and how incomplete most knowledge really is. To less reflective people, this can look like hesitation, but psychologically, it often reflects a sophisticated relationship with ambiguity. The sixth pattern is perfectionism rooted in imagination. The more vividly a mind can imagine the ideal, the more painful it can be to produce anything imperfect in reality. This is why many highly intelligent people procrastinate, self-edit excessively, or abandon good work because it falls short of the internal standard they can already see so clearly. The seventh pattern is existential restlessness. Very high intelligence often brings with it a deeper awareness of contradiction, mortality, injustice, and meaning. These individuals are less easily sedated by routine definitions of success because their minds keep asking larger questions. Why does any of this matter? Why do people live this way? What is worth building a life around? That questioning can lead to insight, but it can also create a quiet dissatisfaction that others rarely notice. The eighth pattern is being misunderstood in subtle ways. A person with extremely high IQ may be called intense, distant, overly analytical, hard to read, or too serious, when in reality, they are often just processing more than they can easily translate. What they need is not admiration, it is accurate recognition. And perhaps that is the deeper psychological truth here. Extremely high intelligence is not simply a gift, it is a particular mental ecology. It amplifies perception, increases complexity, and often makes a person more aware of what others can overlook. That comes with real strengths, but also real emotional costs. So if you have ever felt like your mind goes too far, too deep, too fast, that may not mean something is wrong with you. It may mean you are experiencing the world through a level of cognitive intensity that was never meant to feel simple. And sometimes the most healing realization is not that your mind needs to become smaller, quieter, or easier. It is that your experience finally has a pattern. And once a person understands the pattern, what once felt like private confusion can start to feel like clarity. If this video helped you understand yourself a little more deeply, subscribe to the channel for more psychology insights like this. Subscribe now and join us for more videos that uncover the hidden patterns behind human behavior and the mind.